I also wanted to just mention the beauty that is our quarterback situation in the NFL. Brock Osweiler, Mark Sanchez, TJ Yates, Matt Hasselbeck, and Blaine Gabbert are starting this week.
Woohoo!
So that'll get us into the news.
News and notes from around the league.
All right, so one of those guys, TJ Yates, he's starting because Hoyer was pretty much ruled out. Brian Hoyer's going to miss this week.
Which, I mean, that is so crazy. The play, I mean, remember when if you were watching the game live, the commentators couldn't even find the play for like 30 minutes. They're looking back at film like, where did Hoyer get injured? And now he's going to miss a week from it. That
was
strange.
a coach-induced concussion. He said, you have a concussion. Come off the field. We're going to put someone else in. All right, Ryan Fitzpatrick had surgery last week. We know that. He should start in Week 11. That's just a note for everybody out there who's curious about his status. He should start this week. Vincent Jackson, out again in Week 11. I think I read 53 targets over the last 3 weeks for Mike Evans.
Yeah.
53 targets.
Big boy going to eat. He's going to catch at least half of them.
I was going to say. Well, actually, if he caught half of them, you'd be in good shape.
I was going to say, not at least half of them, but near.
Okay, this broke. Hopkins missed practice yesterday. Is there any reason to be concerned? Is this just Monday night game, give him a day off, veteran day off?
Yeah, there is reason to be concerned, but it's not the injury, I don't believe. Hopkins has had a couple weeks where he's taken a practice off. He's the main target, getting so much work in the game. Extra rest, I think, is smart, but the reasons to be concerned would be the quarterback combined with the defensive back. You got Darrelle Revis on the other side, which I don't think is enough reason to sit Hopkins. But then you've got the quarterback of TJ Yates coming in. That combo is not one that I think is going to be you're not going to see a 100 yards and 2 touchdowns type of game.
He hears you. He hears you.
That is a challenge, Hop. I'm challenging. I'm putting you on blast.
It's Nuke. You got to call him by his nickname if you guys are close. Sammy Biscuits, separated shoulder, plus in the concussion protocol. We're expecting Mark Sanchez this week.
We are. I want another butt fumble.
Yes, there's high goals. Kendall Wright out for Thursday Night Football. That means he joins. We know Justin Hunter is out for Thursday Night Football. When we get to our starts of the week, you're going to understand a little bit about Delaney Walker. I'll just give it to you now. Delaney Walker's in that list. There are limited options in the passing game, and Jacksonville's not exactly at the top of the league in passing defense. So I think there's some opportunities there for Tennessee, although I'm kind of with Jason. This game might be low scoring. Mike McCarthy confirmed Starks is still the starter. Lacey's practicing. What do you expect from that backfield?
Well, I expect that, to be honest, that Starks will get the first touch, and I expect he will get the majority of the touches. However, he's going to get less of the majority than he did last week when he had the lion's share, and against the Lions. And so I expect very mediocre things this week from James Starks.
Michael Floyd, after the big breakout last week, and John Brown, who hasn't caught a pass since week number 7, both missed practice. I think they're both genuinely questionable for this game. From what I'm reading about John Brown, and part of the reason why his production has gone down, is this hamstring is still an issue. There's worry on his part that if he lets it go, and his whole game is top speed, if he lets it go, he's going to tear it or he's going to damage it further. And so he's not been effective. It might be time to sit him down. I'm not sure. What do you expect? Do you expect either to play?
I think that Floyd, to me, has a better chance of playing and being relevant. We've seen for a couple weeks where when John Brown starts, he has not been used. He's been more of a decoy, and it's lingering. I mean, it's not, that hamstring isn't going away. So I'm steering clear of John Brown. If Michael Floyd is in the lineup, I would start him. If John Brown is in the lineup, I'm not starting John Brown under any circumstance this week. If both guys are out, Gerard Brown becomes an absolute fantasy starter. If both of those guys are out in a game like this on prime time,
so you would start Jerome Brown?
Yeah. If those two guys are out, you're talking about the number 2 on a high passing offense, why in the world would you not start him? You've seen this year he can make big plays. He's looked great. So if he's going to be the number 2,
this year you mean
his only year,
Sunday? No, it's not his only year. He's been on the team for 3 years. John Brown's been with the Cardinals for a while. That being said, last game was really the only game of relevance because we saw the injury to Floyd and Brown wasn't doing anything. Let's move on here. Bears coach John Fox says the running back rotation will be tricky once Matt Forte returns.
Uh-oh.
This is concerning for one fantasy player, and that is the player that owns them both. Because I guess it's concerning for more than that, but that is the biggest concern because you kind of want the bell cow in a good situation where the running back's been producing all year. Langford comes in, gives you 2 great games. Forte gave you great games before that. And now if they're sharing, if it's 75-25,
just takes some value away from Forte.
It does. It takes some value away, and we don't really know when he's going to return. Even the context of when he said that, maybe that means a couple more weeks off for Forte. So we don't really know. John Fox is the worst.
Well said, Andy. Very
and then we talked about Alshon Jeffery or we didn't yet. Alshon is listed on the injury report. Groin and shoulder injuries. Earlier this year, he had calf and hamstring injuries.
Yeah, he's not healthy. We saw last game the combination of that health with a healthy defense across the field in the Rams. He didn't get a lot of use, and so all of a sudden this week we've got a similar situation. We've got a guy who has shown some true injuries this year, missing games, hampered in games. Now he's going up against the Broncos. They get Aqib Talib back from suspension. To me, he is a guy that you can sit if you've got the luxury. If you have other good options, I don't look at Alshon Jeffery and go, well, he's the number 1. He's going to have to get at least 6 catches. I mean, I would not be surprised if he has 6 for 75, but I'm not surprised at all if he has 3 for 23 this game.
If he kills you.
Right. And so I am willing to, I know I have the luxury on my personal team, but I am benching Alshon Jeffery this week. I've got Randall Cobb and Mike Evans ahead of
guys that you prefer over the risk that is Alshon Jeffery in this game.
Yep, exactly.